Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as we plant some snowdrops in the green. So let's go. Snowdrops are a spring bulb. They're one of the first bulbs to emerge during the late winter, early spring months. I don't have a large collection of snowdrops in my yard, so I was on the hunt looking for more to add to my collection. I've mentioned before to check out Facebook Marketplace. I just love looking out there for lots of things when it comes to gardening. And I recently found an advertisement for snowdrops. It basically was to buy a small little strawberry bucket like this for $5. So I ended up buying 4 of them, so I spent $20. And I really feel like it was a good investment because it's something that I really wanted. And typically when you find things that are used or on Marketplace, they're going to be cheaper than if you buy them online or in a store. There's a term out there, it's called in the green. And when it comes to snowdrops, they actually prefer to be moved in the green. I will admit I don't have a ton of experience with snowdrops. I've only had them in my yard for about 3 years. Last year in the springtime, around this time, I moved a bunch of snowdrops. I had them in my backyard in a temporary holding bed, and I kept them there only because I didn't know where I wanted to put the snowdrops. So last spring, after the snowdrops had bloomed, I showed you in a video, which I'll link down below, my process for digging up the snowdrops, dividing them, and basically transplanting them to a new location. And in fact, they're in this bed. They look so beautiful. They're still blooming, and I'm really enjoying them. When it comes to these varieties of snowdrops, I'm not quite sure if they're the same variety as what I already have. That's okay. I just know that they're snowdrops and they're something that I wanted to add to my landscape. So I mentioned something called in the green. What that means is taking a spring bulb like snowdrops, letting it go by in terms of blooming. Once the blooms have turned over, that's a great time to dig up and move your snowdrops. Notice that the foliage is still green in color. That's what it means by in the green. The bulbs of snowdrops are very, very small when you compare them to a bulb of, let's say, a daffodil. Daffodils are something that you can actually dig up and you can keep them out all summer long and then plant them in the fall time and they'll be fine. That's not typically true when it comes to snowdrops, mostly because of the size of the bulb. The bulb is very, very small, which means once you dig it up, it's going to dry out pretty quickly. So you might be wondering, well, can I wait until the foliage has fully turned brown and then at that point dig it up and move it? Absolutely, you can do that. What I've found when it comes to transplanting spring bulbs is I end up not remembering where all the bulbs are in my yard because I have quite a few spring bulbs. If you did have it marked, then that would definitely help and then you would know where to dig them in the fall time. But do a little bit of research when it comes to specifically moving snowdrops, and you'll find a lot of people recommend moving them in the green. And well, in my case, since I already bought the bulbs in these little containers here, they need to go in the ground. Now, you might find snowdrops out at a store and they're in a pot or a container. You would be doing the same exact thing that I'm doing here. Speaking of stores, I was recently at a big box store and they had some spring bulbs that were marked down. You know, the type of bulbs like daffodils or tulips, hyacinths, that a lot of stores they'll force them in a pot. And since the bulbs were already going by, they were marked down pretty heavily. After those bulbs have gone by, a lot of times stores will mark them down. And that's a great time to snatch those bulbs. And you would be doing the same process that I'm doing. You would wait until the blooms have gone by, and then you would go ahead and plant those bulbs in your landscape. We don't need a lot of things for this project. I do have fertilizer, it's called bulb tone, and I'm going to be putting a small amount of bulb tone in each planting hole. You typically want to fertilize your spring bulbs after they're done blooming. And always read the package just so you know how much to fertilize. I usually just sprinkle a small amount of it in my planting hole. We have a ton of rain coming tomorrow. I technically don't need to water them, but I'm going to water them anyway because it's a good practice to do that. And when it comes to a lot of your spring bulbs, including the snowdrops, you want to make sure that you're planting them in a nice, organic, rich soil that's well draining. I have gardening gloves. That's optional. Some people like to garden without gloves. I prefer to have gloves on. I have a small hand shovel. And then the final thing I have is a bucket. And the whole reason I have a bucket is just so that we can take each of these containers, we can dump them out in there so that all the dirt comes out, and then we can pull apart, divide our snowdrops before we plant them. In case you're wondering what this beautiful purple flower is, it's called crocus. In fact, the crocuses were also in that temporary holding bed in my backyard. Last spring, when I moved the snowdrops in this bed, I also moved these crocuses. I did the same exact thing. I waited till they were done blooming, and I moved them in the green. And I also made a video showing you my process for doing that I'll link below. I highly encourage you to divide your bulbs. A lot of times spring bulbs, they actually lose their vigor every 2 to 5 years, depending on the bulb. And what you might find happening is you have a lot of leaves and you don't have many blooms. That's one of the indicators that tells you you really need to divide those spring bulbs. These little guys want to come out of their containers, so let's get planting. Just imagine these groupings of crocuses were just planted last year. Every year, they're going to continue putting on even more of a spectacular show. What I thought would look really pretty is just sprinkling in snowdrops all throughout here, just to give that nice pop of color to go along with the purple crocuses. I always like to compare prices, so if you're going to buy something like a spring bulb, such as snowdrops, do a little research online and see what they're going for. And always keep in mind, you're typically going to have to pay for shipping as well. So all I did here was I just dumped this out in this bucket here. And now keep in mind, now that we've done that, these are going to dry out fairly quickly. Usually they should be fine as long as you get them planted within about 1 day or so. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to divide them at this time, and I'm going to count up how many we got out of this one bucket here. And remember, one bucket was $5. When it comes to dividing these, you just want to pull them apart. It's a pretty straightforward process. Or you can shake it, and when you shake it, some of them might just fall apart. So far we have 3, and I'm just going to keep on going, and what I'll end up doing is telling you in the end how many we end up with. But while I'm working, I'm going to try to take off some of the soil, and there will be instances where possibly we have a bulb and the top part, the leaves, have come off. That's okay. And you can see here, this is a nice cluster. That's what we mean by dividing. You're just tugging it apart, and you usually want to make sure that each bulb has some roots attached to it, just like that. And I'm feeling each of the bulbs, they're nice and firm. If I was to find a bulb that felt very soft, then I would discard it, because you don't want to be planting a bulb that's rotten. You can see with this bulb that it had bloomed this year, and that gives you a general idea of the size of the bulb. And when you compare it to some of the other bulbs that seem smaller, they will be fine. They may not bloom next year or the year after that, but they will continue to get bigger until they're this size, and then they'll bloom when they're ready. Also, see that this has no green leaves on it? Totally fine. This bulb will be okay. The key is to get these bulbs in the ground so they don't dry out. I just finished counting them up, and there were about 63 bulbs in there. Now keep in mind, they're not all going to bloom next year or the year after. And when you buy them online, typically you're buying bulbs that are all going to bloom the following year. It's very good, though, the amount of bulbs that we got for $5. I am so pleased. And also keep in mind that maybe not all the bulbs are viable. I did press them, they felt fine, but you just never know, right? So we are going to go ahead and we're going to start planting this bunch that we've already counted up. When it comes to planting any spring bulb, including snowdrops, you want to plant them about 2 to 3 times deeper than the size of the bulb. Another indicator in this case is, see this white section right here? You want to make sure that this is beneath soil level. And where the leaves are nice and green, you want to make sure that those are above soil level. And you'll notice right there, that's about 2 to 3 inches. So it's a perfect depth that we're going to be planting these bulbs. I'm just using my hand shovel, and I'm planning to put probably 5 bulbs in each section. And I may change my mind as I go along, but my goal is to have a small little grouping in each section. I'm just putting a small amount of the bulb tone in the planting hole, just a small drink of water. And I'll try my best to mix it up so that each hole has at least 2 or 3 larger bulbs and maybe 2 or 3 smaller bulbs. And I'll try to just space them out a little bit. And it's very important to leave the green foliage on here. The reason is we're feeding the bulbs for next year. And that's why, again, it's called in the green. We're moving them in the green, but we don't want to remove the foliage. If you remove the foliage, you're basically stopping the bulb from being fed. It still needs the green leaves. The sun provides photosynthesis and it feeds the bulbs through those green leaves. The first grouping is done, and to be honest with you, this process will be very repetitive. So notice again, we have some of these crocuses here. I'm going to do another grouping of the snowdrops in between the grouping of the crocuses. And I'll just work my way around the bed, but I know that I have more than enough of the snowdrops. So what I will end up doing is also thinking hard about where else do I want to put snowdrops in my yard. Once again, this one does not have leaves on it. It will be fine. It may not get much bigger during the next 1 year, but after that, it will continue growing. It's not going to die. It's just that since it doesn't have the leaves on it, it's not going to be able to really feed the bulb to get bigger for next year. But it's still a viable bulb. The other thing I want to mention is when you do move bulbs in the green like this, the foliage may die back quicker than had you left it alone and you didn't move it. And it's okay. It might die back quicker by a few weeks, but it's still feeding the bulbs for next year. But I feel confident doing this with these snowdrops, especially because I bought them and they need to get in the ground. But even when it comes to moving snowdrops in my yard that are established, I would prefer to do it in the green. In fact, I do it with many of my bulbs, not just snowdrops. And I want to show you, you can also add the water after you've planted the bulbs. Either way is fine. I have my work cut out for me. I have a lot of bulbs to get in the ground. It's the same process I already showed you. Let me get them planted and then I'll show you in the end where I planted all the snowdrop bulbs. It's later in the afternoon and it has gotten cold out. I had to put a sweatshirt on. Out of the 4 strawberry buckets full of bulbs, I got 2 planted. I had other things I had to do today. So I want to show you where I planted the bulbs, and I also want to show you where the rest of the bulbs are going to go tomorrow. My goal is to have a drift of snowdrops amongst the purple crocuses. So you have purple crocuses here, but then you also have the drift of the snowdrops over here. And I think that will look really pretty, and I basically did the same pattern throughout this side of the flower bed. So we have crocuses over here, we have some over here, some over here, but then we have a nice drift of the snowdrops all around in here. Some over here, here, and it's really a matter of time for me to see how this is all going to play out. I do know that when it comes to this dianthus, I do need to cut it back because what's happening is it's just matting over a lot of my bulbs in here. So I will be doing that in the near future. But I do think that this is all going to look really pretty over the next 2 years or so. We have crocuses over here, as you see, but then I did put some snowdrops all amongst in here on these sides. The reason that I said it might take a few years for the snowdrops to really amount to anything is there were many small bulbs in there. Yes, there were some large bulbs too, but I'm patient to see this display, and I will definitely bring you along as they start blooming over the next few years. So that's the area where we planted all those snowdrops today. And then towards the front here, over here, as well as over here, are some snowdrops that we planted in this section last year. Now, I don't know if the snowdrops that are over here are the same as these snowdrops that I just got. We'll find out next year if they're the same or if they're a little different. I want to bring you over to this side of this flower bed next, because that's where the rest of the snowdrops are going to go. On this side of the flower bed, you'll notice there are no crocuses and there are also no snowdrops. However, right here, as well as right there, and I'm going to bring you in for a closer look, those are called fumewort or spring larkspur. I want to show you how sweet they are. So these are a spring bulb, and you can see that they are just budded up. Just think how sweet it would look in this side walkway bed to have the pink color of the fumewort coupled with the white color of the snowdrops, as well as the purple color of the crocuses. That's basically what I'm going after. Since I don't have crocuses in here yet, I still have some room where I can plant those snowdrops. And I'm planning to plant 5 to 8 of the snowdrops in between each of the fumeworts. The other thing I want to point out in this bed that's just starting to come up, it's called bloodroot, and it's an ephemeral plant. It's very pretty with white flowers, and I also have it tucked into this bed. So usually when the white bloodroot is blooming, the fumewort is also blooming. But it's a different type of white. It's like a white daisy. Whereas with the snowdrops, I think the snowdrops will have bloomed and should be going by the time that the bloodroot will be blooming in white color. And in case you're wondering how many patches of the fumewort I have, I counted them up, and there are 10 patches of the fumewort. So we'll have the snowdrops in between. We'll eventually have some crocuses in here, and it just makes for a really pretty display. I love daffodils. I have them all around my yard, but when you're right next to a walkway, I just think it's very sweet to have these short little spring bulbs blooming as well, just to give that little pop of color. And right now, they're just budded up. They're not even putting on their full display. You'll see it in a future video that I make when they are blooming and looking beautiful. Before we end the video, I just want to bring you out to my backyard, where I have a raised garden that hopefully we'll be working on at some point this spring. Down here in the backyard, this is what I often refer to as my holding bed. And there are a lot of plants out here. In fact, you can see towards the front, lots of daffodils. Right behind the daffodils, there are a lot of daylilies. But I want to show you right behind that what there is. About 2, 3, maybe 4 years ago, I bought a whole bunch of spring bulbs just locally at a store, and I put them in here because I didn't know where the bulbs were going to go. And they're very sweet. They're very short and small. So what I've been doing the last few years is basically shopping my yard and coming out here and pulling out these spring bulbs. So I want to show you what I'm planning to also pull out over the next few days. More snowdrops. Now this is a different type of snowdrop, and you can see its face. It looks a little different, and I have quite a few of them. So they have started to naturalize. Within the next few days, I'll be coming out here and I will be digging these snowdrops up, and I'll move them somewhere, again, where I can really appreciate them and notice them, because where they're currently located, which like I said is a temporary holding spot, they're just hidden in my backyard. And unless I come out here and look at them, I'm not going to enjoy them. So on a different day, little guys, you're going to go to a new home. I really do hope that this video inspired you. I can't tell you how many bulbs I've successfully divided and moved around my yard. The more you move your bulbs around, the more you're going to have stock of that certain plant. I've done it with almost every spring bulb you can think of, and I highly encourage you to do the same thing. Start slow. Start with the bulbs that have already gone by, which in my case, the very first bulb to go by are my snowdrops. I'm going to tackle all the snowdrops first. Then the next bulb that I believe goes by are my crocuses. Same thing. I have some crocuses I need to move. I'm going to be moving those as well. And I'm just going to keep tackling my spring bulbs one bulb at a time. On one hand, yes, a lot of sources say to leave the green foliage there. Don't move and divide your bulbs until all the foliage has died back. But then there's reality. If you have a lot of bulbs or you don't have a lot of time, you kind of need to do it when you have time to do it. So in my case, I really like to move my bulbs around when they're in the green. The key is leave the foliage up there. Don't tie it back. Don't cut it. Just leave the foliage and let the plant continue feeding the bulbs. Let me know if you have snowdrops in your yard, and if you do, have you tried moving them around and dividing them? If not, what are you waiting for? Also, be on the lookout for future videos when I show you my process for dividing and moving other spring bulbs. And until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.